Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Pick up your logo merchandise by heading over to abvnetwork.com, clicking on Shop, and start filling your basket today. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for something for yourself, a customized gift, or logoed items for your business gift shop, the Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. That's the number 2 in the Bar to Go. Don't forget our friends at Neely Family Distillery now ship their unique distilled spirits directly to you. To order yours, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, Steve screws up. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Joe Ferrara, Jeff Kaplan, and Katie Joyce.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
So, yeah, we've got an interesting show. We're basically mailing it in. So we mail it in on holidays and stuff like that. We're mailing it in for this one because I had some notes that I needed for a game we're going to play. I lost them. I don't know where they're at.
They sounded like decent notes, to be fair.
Yeah, I had some work that I put into this, and I don't know if it's lost on my computer.
Dog ate it.
The dog ate it. I don't know if I tried to save it as my favorites. I just can't find it now. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I've lost the things that I need. So we're just still doing a show, though. We've got together as a group. We're here on a Friday night, so why not? So I wanted to talk about, this is a screw up for my work because this is what I do for a living now. What has been your worst screw up at work? Have you ever done anything bad at work? Joe's smiling there. Yeah, what do you got? It sounds like there might be something good here.
This is going back a lot. I mean, I'm 65 this year. I was maybe 27 when I had this job. I was in charge of a warehouse for a photo finishing company.
Okay.
And there was a pallet of photo paper. It's probably worth about $20,000.
Okay.
And I go to lift it up with a forklift, and it falls off, tips over, and more than 2/3 of it, the bags just rip open that the paper's in, which means they're no good anymore. They're exposed to light. It's garbage. It's basically, if it was lighter weight, you could use it as toilet paper. And I had figured that would be like the end of my job there. But the head of the company walked over, looked at it, he says, you need to be a little more careful next time. And he just walked away.
Really?
Wow.
You made it through that, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't intentional. It was just, as I watched it over, and I was horrified because it's this like 4x4x4 foot pallet of this paper, and each package was probably $1,000 worth of paper, and I ripped open maybe 30 of them.
Wow.
So that was the biggest screw up I ever did.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a bad screw up at work?
Well, this is stressful for me because if I screw up at work, someone's going to jail or losing their kids.
Yeah, Katie cannot screw up.
I can't screw up, though. But I do have a one that comes to mind from, it was a volunteer thing. So I was in law school. First year was our orientation. We went and volunteered at places. And this one was, I think it was like a Habitat for Humanity restore, something like that. And we're back in this section where they had toilets that they would resell. And so they had them out displayed that people had donated. And we were supposed to move them and rearrange them, whatever. And the guy was like, all right, now you use 2 people to lift them. And I was like, I don't need another person to lift this. I was like, no, I got it. It's fine. I can lift that. And I go to lift up the entire thing. And it wasn't that it was too heavy. I lifted it up, but it's the fact that it's in multiple pieces and the lid slid off and broke right in front of this group of 20 people of my first year of law school, all these classmates and upperclassmen that were leading it. He's like, yeah, that's why I suggested doing it in groups.
We gave you advice.
Yeah.
And
so you killed the
all
shitter.
I did was break the lid of a toilet tank that then made it trash, and they were selling them for 15 or $20 or whatever, but it still haunts me to this day.
It haunts you. Yeah. Okay. All right, Jeff, you ever screw up anything in your time?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm trying to go back. I've been in the corporate world for 30 years now, and
there has to be something.
I don't know. I'm
you were a chef for a long time. Did you ever just screw up something where you bought a bunch of something, you didn't cook it in time and it went bad or something like that? I mean, that can be very expensive too, depending on what the ingredient is.
Yeah, no, from a chef standpoint, not in that fact. There's definitely been some times where I've made some things and they just didn't come out right and maybe you've dumped them. But, I think for me that, I don't know, maybe I just haven't met numbers for a given month that they wanted, but I just don't. I've been this whole time waiting till it come to my turn, trying to think of a screw up. And I don't know, maybe they've just come in stride or it's just been, another day, but nothing that stands out to me is just dropping the ball at work.
Okay. All right. McNew, how about you?
Mine's personal. I should have taken that severance payment in 2018 and been on my way. I shouldn't have stayed like they asked me. And I have been trying to get fired every day since. I really don't give a fuck anymore. So still hanging on. Apparently they don't give as much shits as I thought they did. So
eventually they'll get you.
Buying my time, to be honest. And that's more stressful than you think it is. It's really more stressful than when I cared.
Yeah.
I
went through the same thing. I quit Karen, and I would tell you every day, I wish they'd fire me and stuff like that. Of course, when they do, it's like, oh fuck, what this sucks. But I still have to go through these bullshit end of year, mid-year reviews, or what are your goals? I'm I don't have any. Yeah, I don't care.
I have 0 goals with this company. I have a lot of goals, not with you. How are we supposed to say that? So I regret every day personally not taking that severance when I should have and hanging out, but hopefully I see it soon.
I was an impossible employee to manage because even during when you're talking about the performance review, my company, they would ask you to review yourself, and I always give myself 5 out of 5 on everything. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing the best I can, no matter what. Even when I'm failing, I'm trying my best.
I don't know me. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah. And they're like, you can't do that.
So I get that. I am. I have to go through all that bullshit too. But I'm just you know what? A pandemic was last year. How can you measure anybody's best? Everybody was stressed out.
And then they always tell you nobody gets a 5.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody gets a 5, but I think I'm getting a 4.5.
They're you've got to fix that. I'm no, I'm not. I did a 5 out of 5 on my effort, and you.
And if you don't agree, that's on you. You can
tell me why.
And I never want to tell you
if
why.
I'm reviewing myself, I'm giving myself 5%. So let's give me the maximum raise because I'm giving myself 5 out of 5.
Not just that, you want a bonus too.
Yeah.
So I'm just buying my time.
They'll get you eventually. They'll get you
every day.
And
that's what I regret not doing it 3 years ago. But you know what? I believe in the timing of the world and the universe, and it wasn't time for me to go then. It will be the time when I'm ready for it to be. So
my worst screw up at work, I didn't really feel I had any part of, though I was kind of part. It was my computer, and my boss at the time. We were doing a joint presentation, and he had a cup of water, and he puts the cup of water on my computer on the thing, and I took it, I picked it up, and I moved it off there, and he says, "I'm not a child," and he takes that glass and puts it back on my computer on the on the side thing. He says, "I'm not a child," as we're doing the presentation, and as we're talking, I see him do one of these. He's saying, and this, and he's like, "Whoops," and I'll be damned if I didn't see my computer. It was like it's fine. And then, within 30 seconds, the screen goes black and I had to get a new computer. So he literally fried my computer by
being a child.
By being a child after he said, "I'm not a child." He was a child. He built it into my computer.
Did you tell him he was going to get a spanking?
Yeah. Yes. And I brought it up when I had my review. I said, I gave myself a 5 out of 5 because I didn't ruin that computer. You ruined that computer. So there you go. But they got me eventually, so they got me, and I didn't expect it when they got me, so it was good. They surprised me. So
I am expecting it, and I'm crossing my fingers for it.
Yeah. I tell you what, it worked out great. So they gave me 6 months severance, but then they also gave you other things. They covered your health insurance, and then you got they wouldn't contest taking unemployment, all that. I'm like, by the time you add up all that was 9 months that I got paid for doing.
And if you choose, you can cash out your 401k. There's so many perks to getting fired that way.
Being fired was great, so it worked out.
I can't wait. I'm trying, actively trying.
Yeah. Good luck,
McNew.
Good
working
luck.
for yourself. I don't get any benefits if I fire myself. So
No.
I'm really missing out here.
No.
Yeah. But you get so many other
it's
benefits.
worth it though, Katie.
Not
Believe
dealing
me.
with an asshole being a dick to you every day. So.
I've done both. Believe me, it's worth it. Owning your own business.
Through COVID, with all the challenges I have gone through, I have had that thought, McNew, probably 20 times. Like, what can I do that I could get fired for, and they can pay me unemployment, and I just don't have to come into this shit show every day.
Nothing is enough. So like we have like these virtual phones. Mine hasn't worked since September. They've updated our phones since September, and they're like, please call this person back. So I'll just put in the charts that I called this person back. I don't fucking make calls. In 2018, I said, I will not be on the phones. I will not call people. I will file claims and mind my own business, and you'll leave me alone. That's what they agreed to when they kept me on, because I got to write my own whatever I wanted. And I'm like, I'm not making phone calls. So I just write that I do. And I'm like, my phone has not worked since last year. It has not worked in 9 months. And they don't keep track of it. I'm like, please find out that I am not doing this and fire me for it. They don't do it. They don't do it. I am really trying.
Yeah. Well, I'll be damned if you get so incompetent, they may have to promote you. That's what used to happen to my old company. It's like all the idiots would get promoted.
Hey, Jeff, you might be able to hire her at some point.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Take what you can get at this point.
Steve's like, are you free at 2 on a Tuesday? I'm like, I don't see why not.
Right. Right. Yeah. All right. Well,
whatever.
There you go. There's our worst F ups at work, which there's plenty of, believe me. We're doing our best.
Some of them are intentional.
Yeah. Work for yourself. I do like working for myself. I finally hit my stride in my 50s, but I wish I would have done this 30 years ago, but there you go. It is time now to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Jeff this time. I don't think we started with you. What do you got there, man?
Little Elijah Craig barrel proof A121.
A121. Okay. Well, long wait, but not much there. I'll go next. I've got Whistle Pig. This is a barrel pick from Taste Select Repeat. Our friends there, OJ Lima. It is the DIY 3. So there you go. There you go. Cork pop. That's enough to take the lead. It's enough to take the lead. I don't think it's great, but we'll see. Katie, can you beat that?
First of all, don't forget about Pierre from Taste Select Repeat.
True. He doesn't come on the shows, but yes, Pierre is also.
So I have some Samuel Burton that is from Labadee, Missouri here.
Really? I've never even heard of these folks.
I don't remember buying this bottle. Apparently I've had it before because it's open. Don't recall that either.
Where do they sell that? I know where Labadee is, and I've never heard of this distillery though.
Yeah. Nope. I haven't either. I don't recall purchasing this. I'm not sure, honestly, where it came from.
Okay.
And I was picking out the whiskeys for tonight, and I asked my boyfriend, I was like, hey, will you pick something that looks like it doesn't have much out of it? He was like, how about this Samuel Burton from Missouri? I was like, the what? I'm like, when did that get there?
Never heard of it. Mine. Never heard of it. Okay.
So here we go.
Okay. That's enough to take the lead. Where does that say distilled by, Katie? Does it say anything? Does it give you, are they doing this themselves? It looks based on the color. I'm guessing they do this themselves, actually.
Handcrafted.
In Labadee, Missouri.
Distiller from the hills of Tennessee, learned his craft at an early age. Blah, 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 blah. Bottled in Missouri by Samuel Burton Distilling, LLC.
Pickle.
So it just says bottled. It doesn't say distilled.
Does not say distilled. So we know nothing.
But it does say by Samuel Burton Distilling, LLC, Labadee, Missouri. I'll do a little research. I'll come back to this.
When they say bottled by and not to tell you distilled, it usually means they didn't do it because they would.
I'm guessing it's Tennessee is where it's distilled.
Because he's a Tennessee guy, it sounds like. So it has to be Dickel then, like Jeff
probably Dickel or Nelson's Greenbrier.
Yeah.
No, it's Dickel. Nelson's MGP.
Yeah.
Although this government warning on the back, they're missing out. They're not talking about all the benefits of drinking whiskey. They're just talking about the negatives. Like, don't drink it while you're pregnant, and it may cause health problems, and don't operate a car.
Hell no. It needs to say drink it. It's heart healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our current lead. Who Jeff has our lead, right? So,
Mhm.
All right, Joe, can you beat what Jeff was throwing out there?
I found a bottle a few weeks ago of Wild Turkey Decades.
Okay,
Delicious. Love that bottle.
nothing there though, cork pop wise. So McNew, you're last. Can
It
you?
was so deep you couldn't hear
I
it.
don't
There
think
you
I
go.
have
That's what
anything.
she
I
said.
have this bottle of Old Tub that literally my husband bought on Tuesday. He's
Wow.
only drank it, so
He's been
Wow,
hitting
you
that
got
hard.
some damage in 3 days.
Yeah. Nope,
he really
nothing there.
likes it. Nothing there.
Congratulations, Jeff. You're cork pop champion for the show.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we can talk about anything. We're mailing it in. I screwed up. We don't have a show. We'll talk about whatever in just a few.
Shame on you, Steve.
Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and let's talk for a moment about our sponsors, the people that make this show happen. First up is our friends at Moonshine University. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at their office in Louisville. The information I learned through lead instructor Colin Blake and their team there is something that I continue to draw upon frequently in my role at the ABV Network. It truly is the standard of establishing a benchmark of knowledge of the bourbon industry. From history to production to brands and people, it's all there. Check out their full listing of programs, including Executive Bourbon Steward certification, production classes if you're considering starting a distillery, and much more at moonshineuniversity.com. I also want to talk about Neely Family Distillery. Back in May of 2018, I met Royce Neely at Limestone Branch's Craft Bourbon Festival. It ended up not only being the start of a great friendship, I started to truly learn about what makes craft whiskey so amazing. You see, I had been a bourbon drinker for over 30 years at that point, and like many people who had been drinking bourbon a long time, I was hard-coded into thinking big bourbon was where it was at and craft was on a journey to get there. Spending time with Royce and learning the things he does to make his whiskey taste better started to really get me to appreciate how things like sweet mashing, open top fermentation, pot distillation, and the grains you are using not only makes your product taste better coming off the still, but also out of the barrel as well. I still love heritage brands and they make up a bulk of my collection. But when you find a craft distiller that is truly dedicated to the craft of distilling, you are drinking some of the best whiskey out there on the market today. That's exactly what's happening at Neely Family Distillery today. Check them out on the web at neelyfamilydistillery.com, or better yet, stop by and see them at their distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And now, back to the show.
All right, I'm Neil.
And I'm Melanie.
Together we're the Robinsons, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we are just mailing it in because Steve lost some notes.
Yes, I lost some notes. We had a show, and then I lost the notes, so now we have nothing. So we're still doing a show, though. We're still talking. So, yeah.
So, I feel a little betrayed, Steve, because you share things with me, and you did not share these notes with me that I would have kept for you and had for you.
I know.
Handed
Because
them
that was
over
key to the
when
show.
you lost them.
If I would have sent them to anybody, you're like, well, why aren't the notes in that? Because I sent out the notes. Why aren't
Because
the
I was
notes
very
just in there?
confused. They weren't even in the database.
Yeah, because if I would
all
have,
right.
if we would have
Since
sent
we
out the
have
notes,
no-
everybody would have looked it up. Everybody would have got 100 on the quiz I was going to do.
No, you could have counted me out. You could have counted you out. I would have had the notes, and you just
Because I always
chose
get
to
numbers
lose
on
them
everything I
instead.
do.
The way the way McNew talks about her job and not wanting to work where she probably wouldn't have looked it up anyway.
No, that's true. It's true. Yeah.
So I do well about the things I care about, but when I stop caring, I'm just literally done unless I'm getting paid. So, like an every 2 weeks paycheck is nice. That it pays for my lifestyle. My husband tolerates me more. So I'm like, you know what?
And then on August 11th, you and I are doing a show. It's the season finale of Bourbon Survivor, and neither of us saw him because we voted. We
voted each other
we
off.
kicked each other off. So now we have to do a goddamn show where neither of us actually gets to participate in it.
Not involved in. So
So-
first of all, you kicked me off, and then in retaliation, I kicked you off.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have kicked
You
me off.
started this, Steve.
My goal was to kick off you, Heidi, and Katie because you guys were doing the show. And
Mandy was on there too, but so I have a story about that. Jeff, I voted you off first by accident. So
I
Mandy,
know.
And then she realized you were married to Mandy, and then she's like,
Right.
"What the fuck?"
so well, and
So
Mandy
when
had her
this
name
talk
up.
show-
So she just had it as Mandy K, and I didn't put the two together until
There's
later
so
in the
many
show,
Mandys.
and I was like,
so many Mandys.
holy shit. I was like, I just voted off the person I see in the background of her screen there, and then the person I'm freaking
You kicked off all the
podcasting with right now
Kaplans,
by
yeah.
accident.
No.
What?
So Steve should know by now that like I retaliate. Like Steve was like, I'm gonna vote off McNew. And then when I got the chance, I'm like, fuck Steve, I'm gonna vote off Steve.
I got one vote. I thought I would vote off everyone on the show, and it sucked. I didn't get picked again. I wanted to vote off Heidi and all this. Yeah.
When this show started, Katie, Mandy was sitting behind me, not on this podcast, and she was like, that's the one. She's the one. She kicked you off. That's the girl right there. Like, okay, well.
Called you out.
It was by accident. I just looked down the list. I was like, I don't know that name. Sure, a person I don't know. And then later in the show, I was like, oh my god.
Like, oh shit.
It's all good. No worries.
Well, okay, so like nobody's ever easy to kick off, right? Like we never want to kick off anybody
Because we know everyone, yeah. So it's not easy.
and we like everyone. Everyone's great in their own ways, and we love everyone. And it's I love and hate that game. Like I don't want to
It's all
kick anybody
good.
off.
If that's the worst thing that happens in my day, it's a great day. It's all
Yeah,
good.
that's probably true for a lot of people.
Well, Heidi
No
texted
worries.
me though, and is like, okay, so you and McNew can't be on. Am I in charge of the show? And I'm like, no, you're not in charge of anything, Heidi. No,
We're still gonna be there. We just can't vote.
right. We're still going to be there. We just can't vote. She's like, I thought I was going to be in charge because you guys were kicked off. And I'm like, no, that's not how this
No.
works. You're not in
Well,
charge.
we'll just be there
Send her the
moderating
Zoom
all
link,
the
and you're like, good
bullshit.
luck.
Right. Yes. Here's the Zoom. Please send me the show and let me know how it goes. No, I'm not going to leave Heidi home
No,
alone.
that's not going to work. No.
Yeah. Heidi's
Although
like,
I
I'm
did
in
kick
charge
myself
now.
off. So I felt like as soon as I realized that, I was like, I'm kicking myself off now. I don't deserve to be part of this.
So yes, yeah. So Heidi
right,
and
so-
Jim are part of it. Yeah.
I got a question. This is a good crew for it. And this comes up a lot. And I've been talking about this a lot locally with my bourbon group. The bourbon bubble, the inflation of bottles, the craze, all that. Is that ending, popping, blowing away anytime soon? You guys really have good insight on that.
So I don't know, because I think the general world is I honestly, like, not to be political, but I think we're headed to like another recession like we had in 2008, where maybe people realize it, maybe people don't, but I think people are going to go to cheaper products all around. I don't think allocated things are going to get the attention they used to.
I agree.
For me, the bubble burst because I'm tired of like trying to chase things and find things, and I'm tired of people wanting 3 times retail, if not more, where I live.
I don't know. I feel like I get what Joe's saying. And again, I do think there's a large scale amount of that, but I feel like store picks and barrel picks have picked up and where that's left off. So the bourbon fan, if you're not chasing the allocated stuff anymore, you're into the barrel picks now. And I feel like there's still something for you. I am concerned. You know what concerns me more than anything? Because I do think there's still investment in infrastructure being made, and there's
Global
different
warming.
experiences and things like that. But what bothers me, and it goes back to, we did a show on it. McNew was like, this doesn't bother me at all. But that s'mores flavored bourbon, that to me that bothers the piss out of me, because to me, it's like, that's what happened to vodka. Vodka was on this uprise. You had these Tito's started, and then you had Grey Goose and, other premium vodkas, and vodka was on this roll. And then they started coming out with flavored vodkas, and then they got bigger than ever. And then they started having cotton candy and bourbon or birthday cake with confetti and all this. And then it ended up being too much cotton candy and all this shit. And then excuse me, I keep saying bourbon. Vodka then goes away. Vodka, but is that going to happen to bourbon now? And
feel like
maybe something like s'mores could do it. It could be the start of the end.
I think there's going to be a greater and greater divide between the people who are interested in like the bourbon from the origins and the people like us of why we're interested in it. And then the people who are interested in the craze and who like the ones of maybe because it's hard to find or because it's flavored and trendy. And I think that divide is going to keep growing bigger and bigger. And I think that's definitely going to change the market.
Yeah. I do think, going back to Jeff's original question, here's a problem that we have. Allocated things. You used to have if you weren't getting them, at least sometimes you got them. There's no such thing as even getting an allocated item anymore, because there are people, and here's how the system works now. You have a distributor who tells their buddies, hey, we're delivering on Friday. We're delivering all these highly allocated things. And all their buddies come in and they are at that store, because it's now all big liquor stores in St. Louis. It's not mom and pops who are going to hold on to this thing and try to take care of good customers. It's big retail liquor stores. And that's what we're dominated by. And it just goes out on the shelf. Or it becomes part of an official raffle. That either way, you're not getting it if you're just a regular fan. The distributors have in all their buddies, and they're there when that they know when that stuff's going to hit, and they're there and they buy it. I don't know what they do with it. I assume they flip it and they sell. But as just a general bourbon fan, you don't get a chance at it. I don't get a crack at anything.
I have seen. So my brother works for a distributor. And they've really been cracking down that it used to be like they could buy the allocated stuff themselves as well. But now it's really gone down that they're telling the employees, like, you're not allowed to buy this. And if they find out that they're doing the game of like telling all their friends about it, things like that they've officially like announced that they're not supposed to be doing that anymore, because the distributors are trying to get away, at least the one my brother works for. But so that's been interesting to see, because they see as well that it's become so much of you can't actually get allocated. You have to know someone now.
Right.
And so I do see some people trying to get away from that, but
yeah.
The liquor store I go to, I've become friends with the guy, and through him, I've met all the salespeople. So I always bring like whiskey for them to try there, and I become friends with them. So now what they'll do is they'll go to other stores that have stuff sitting on the shelves or that they're trying to get rid of, and they'll, in a sense, buy it back and bring it to my friend's store so that I can get it. I got 2 bottles of Michter's 10 that way. That's how I got this Wild Turkey Decades. I'll just tell them I'm looking for this, and the guy goes, "Oh, I think I know a guy who's got a bottle of it. I'll see if I can get it from him. He hasn't sold it yet." And then I end up with a bottle that way.
Yeah, that's cool. But most of us don't have that opportunity. I had some friends that worked at a liquor. They don't anymore, but they did work at a liquor store, a major, player in the market here. And they would literally, the people that would come in the stores. So they open at 9:00, and the people that come in the stores would be like, "Hey, where's this product?" And they'll be like, I don't know. And they're like, "It came in today. It should be back. Do you mind going back and checking, because it's here in the store?" So, because they've been tipped off by a distributor, they know exactly what's there.
That's
and they're
crazy.
very pushy about they want to buy that, because they know that it's in that store. And, people like me, I don't have that connection. They're not, I don't get any of that stuff.
So my brother is a distributor. I don't get that kind of information. He only tells me occasionally, like, hey, they got some Buffalo Trace in. And like, that's still pretty common to find in the St. Louis area. I'm like, thanks a lot.
Right. Yeah, Buffalo Trace is a weird one, because it's hard to find in liquor stores. It's easy to find in grocery stores and say,
right.
It's a weird thing. You're like, I can't find Buffalo Trace when I go to Total Wine, which is a huge buyer. You can't find it there. But go to Schnucks or Deerberg's, the grocery stores in town. It's loaded up on the shelves. Buy all you want.
One of the most common places actually is a gas station in St. Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Just this little like Phillips Mart. And so they like very commonly have Buffalo Trace, and they almost always have it $24.99. They don't jack it up. But so I go to a gas station.
In New York, only liquor stores sell liquor, so you can't find it in grocery stores or gas stations.
Wah, wah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like our Kroger's and grocery stores are a plus. Like, I love some grocery store bourbon. Meyer has some fucking great picks. Meyer's in Indiana, probably Kentucky too. Don't sleep on those.
Myers, huh? Okay.
Myers, yeah.
I think we have Myers here in Missouri, don't we, Katie?
Meyer without the S.
I don't go to Meyer, but I think we have them here, don't we, Katie? Somewhere
I
around
don't
here?
think so.
Meyer? They have got private picks?
Meyer has some fucking great picks.
Really?
Like, our Meyer,
Really?
yeah. Meyer. Steve, when you come up next weekend to go to Hard Truth Hills, go to like South Indy or Northwest Indy, hit a Meyer. You're going to find some good picks.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to
They're
check
all
it out.
over the place here in Kentucky. I
Mhm.
never look. I didn't know that was a thing. But now
Check out a Meyer.
Check out a Meyer. Okay.
And
Katie's
like
looking
the
at a Meyer now, seeing if we have any. I thought we did. I thought there was.
So you got to look in the nice neighborhoods. So like
Really?
Northwest Indy, where you want to go.
They're in
Northwest Indy.
Illinois, but not Missouri.
So are they in Southern Illinois?
Yes, there's some in Southern Illinois, I think. But
I know. I thought I
Missouri.
saw them. I know. I saw them somewhere around here, but
Well, don't talk about it on the podcast. Now everybody's going to be going there.
yeah, true.
They're running right now, Jeff.
Exactly. They're lining up. They'll be there in the morning when it opens.
Yeah,
That bourbon bubble we were talking about, they're running for it right now.
Exactly.
right now.
So not to be an asshole, but if I say Westfield or Carmel, people are going to run because those people have bourbon money. So if I said Greenwood, nobody's going. But know your cities around your city.
Okay.
Yep.
So Greenwood's a good place to go. Greenwood.
No, not Greenwood. Westfield and Carmel. Go there.
What about Greenfield? That's where you live. Greenfield. Is there anything?
I know. I go to Westfield and Carmel.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because they're not that far from me.
I think
And that's
Meyer's a big competitor for Kroger, and I am Kroger, true to my heart.
Okay,
And so,
I like both depending on my mood for the day. They're both good.
Where the hell do you hit Kroger at, Katie? Is there one
Well,
up by you?
we used to have a Kroger in Warrenton for the longest time. Always
Uh-huh.
my favorite store. It shut down like 2 years ago, and I'm still crying about it every morning. And
Okay.
so now there is still one in Troy, Missouri. That's where I go now. So I drive half an hour north to do my grocery shopping a lot of times because
Kroger.
I love Kroger. But like I'm going to Kentucky this weekend, and there's lots of Krogers there, and they have some nice
Yeah.
Krogers. And so
And
I
you
got
can get
excited.
L8 for
Ooh.
cheap.
I was
Yeah.
like, I can stock
I like
up on my
L8.
Yingling beer, and I can go to a nice Kroger. I am
Yeah.
set.
Yingling beer and L8. That's what you want to get at Kroger.
Yes. And some, oh yeah.
We don't have that here in St. Louis. We have neither. So
I think Yingling is expanding though in the next coming like.
I
year or
hope
two
it comes
years.
to St. Louis. I
You
enjoy
don't
it.
have Yingling in St. Louis?
No, we
No,
don't
we
have
can't
Yingling.
get Yingling in Missouri.
No.
It's
You
in
can't?
every grocery store here. I just assumed it was
That's
everywhere.
all over the place here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
same
And I don't
here.
think you can get it in Illinois either. I think we have to go over, like you can go through into Indiana and get it. I think, but like
Indiana, it's definitely in, but yeah, I think it's not around us. It's just not there. So
But I heard they are expanding nationwide. So within the short future here, I believe we're going to start getting it. We'll see.
okay, there you go.
I'm finding out the difficulty of this new the darkness 2-off glass that you can't see how much you're pouring in it. I
Right.
over poured myself.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, that thing. Okay. All right. Anything else, gang? All right.
No,
Well, there
That
you
was
go.
a good mail it in. That was informative.
We mailed it in. Yeah, we missed out on a show, but we picked up a show by just mailing it in. So there you go. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. And Katie, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
Well, right now you can find me chilling on my new lazy boy couch that I'm loving. But if
A great looking couch too.
I just got it today, and so I moved where I normally record just so I can enjoy my new
Enjoy the couch.
reclining
you
love
broke
seat.
it in by spilling something on it also, right?
Yeah.
I did. I spilled whiskey on it, so the love seat's been christened.
Oh, okay.
You broke it in the way it should be. Good.
Don't waste no time.
No.
If you want to legitimately find me, go to Instagram and look up Katie Proof.
All right, Katie Proof. There you go. Jeff, how about you? Where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram at the Kaplan Team.
All right, Joe.
I am on Instagram at I did it again.
Whoa.
Bourbon _ aficionado.
Wow. That's not good. Okay, McNew, how about
Been a
you? Where can
long
people find
day.
you?
I am on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, that thing's abvnetwork.com. Everything that we do is out there. Bourbon Zeppelin's out there, Bourbon People, so much more, abvnetwork.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind our audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
So long.
Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's chat for a moment about Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you just want to experiment on a small scale on the stove in your kitchen or try your hand at a bigger setup in the backyard, Moonshine Still Pro can help. They have different still offerings as well as accessories and even grains from Goldstone Mill to help you make whiskey on par with what you get from your favorite distillery. They can even assist with a DIY still project by supplying some of the parts you can't make yourself. Check them out at moonshinestillpro.com. At the ABV Network, we're lucky enough to have some great friends. Amongst those friends is the Goldstein family, owners of Goldstone Mill. Goldstone Mill is a full-service mill offering a variety of heritage and heirloom grains. Their unique approach of working with mills around the country allows them to offer you affordable shipping opportunities to meet the unique needs of your distillery or brewery. They will consult with you to ensure the grains you are selecting meets the unique flavor profiles you are looking for. If you are a home brewer or distiller and you're looking for the grains that your local distillery or brewery uses, Goldstone Mill is the place to look. Check them out on the web at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or shoot them an email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.